Hey everybody, welcome to the Notes My Goats podcast. I am Brandon.
And I'm Steve.
Dude, how are you?
Man, honestly, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah,
Um, recording date is, right before we're gonna be doing our Summerfest gig in Wayland.
right.
So it's the biggest thing we've done for the hot dog cart
Yeah,
because we're in that too. My mother-in-law is going to be in the craft fair,
okay.
and I'm hosting the event
Yeah, you
as a
are.
part of the podcast and kind of doing some stuff. So like
Yep.
it's Thursday. The event
Mhm.
really starts tomorrow on Friday. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't even know really what time it is right now. I'm just kind of like, I'm
We're just
kind of
kind
on
of,
autopilot and being addled by whiskey.
yep.
And then I'll just kind of figure it out. But I'm a little
Someone just
tired,
has
but
to
I'm
push you in a direction and then you'll be there kind of deal.
it's kind of the whole, yes, it is like the Ron Burgundy thing where you put the words in front of me and I'll pretty much say whatever's in the prompter.
Yeah.
Whether good, bad, or otherwise,
I'm
it
Ron
is what it
Burgundy and
is.
I'm Tits McGee.
And I'm Tits McGee.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck you, San Diego. Yes,
Much love to our San Diego listeners.
but yes, thank you, San Diego.
Yeah.
I've been told that means a whale's vagina, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Um, I love you, San Diego. I actually am going to San Diego in November. I'm gonna
Okay.
fly there. That's where we're
Yeah.
flying into. We go to California,
Okay.
but um, no, man, it's been good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I can't really complain. We are, I think, at episode drop. Uh, I've got one more softball game,
June
and
26th, so last week.
yep. So tomorrow is my last game, so
Mhm.
that will be awesome. Um, Super fun game. The season has been fun. All of my players have gotten at least one hit. So, at this level, that's all that really matters. So they're
Awesome. And
they're
then we
they're loving
also
the game.
that's amazing. I want to make sure we drop one more quick thing. We got 3 this week.
Oh, yeah,
We
we
have
did.
we have a podcast coming out tomorrow. We have a
Oh
draft
my
podcast.
goodness.
We have a draft podcast coming out tomorrow, and we're being joined by a guest.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So, if you're watching on YouTube,
Hmm.
remember hit that subscribe button wherever it may find its way out there for us.
Right.
But in probably about 15 minutes or so, we're gonna play a game, and I'm gonna post the graphic for tomorrow's episode. So if you're watching
Hmm.
this on Tuesday, or if you're listening to this on Tuesday, head over to YouTube and
Absolutely.
find About This Point,
Yeah.
watch, subscribe, and then you can find out what's happening on Wednesday and also on Friday, because I'll post both graphics on the YouTube video today. So
I love it.
I'm telling you right now, if you want to know what it's for, if you want to be surprised, still go to YouTube, click subscribe, and
Hit
then
subscribe and be surprised. There you go.
be surprised. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
subscribe and surprise. There you go.
we do have an awesome guest that we're pretty excited to be back on the podcast talking
We are
about hip
excited.
hop. It's hip hop week, man.
It is hip hop week all the way around for sure. Um, yeah. So what are we talking about, Steve?
So we are talking about an artist that we did way, way back in the day. For us, podcast did back in
Way,
the
way
day.
back in the day.
It was 2021, guys. Things were crazy. We were all still kind of home, but not really sure what to do. Some of us were wearing masks. Some of us got the whole shot. Nobody
Yeah.
really knew what was going on. It was April of 2021.
Yep. Episode 37, guys.
I knew it was
I'm
I knew it was close to
I'm
40.
looking at here because it is Steve on our top 10 most downloaded episodes.
Oh, awesome. And we felt like it was a good idea to bring this guy back. We wanted to talk
Number
about all his
6,
albums
actually.
anyway. Fantastic. We wanted to talk about his other albums anyway because they're amazing and they're
Yeah,
great. And he happened to put a new one out.
absolutely. He did.
So today we are going to talk about the Tommy Prophet produced album Hope
Mhm.
by NF.
Yeah,
I'm giving Tommy all of his roses
absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. This is like the third or fourth time that we've mentioned Tommy between other artists.
Yeah, because he's been
So,
on some other stuff too. So I
right.
want to give Tommy all of his roses,
Yep.
making sure he gets all of his flowers because I will mention him quite frequently in my review.
Yep.
Because I've kind of learned that these two kind of go hand in hand.
In one way or another. A little bit, yeah. Either
Right
either a
now,
little, either a little bit or a lot of it. So,
or a lot of it. So they're
yep,
conjoined in some way, shape, or form, and just about everything that happens
yep,
between the two of them. So, which is,
yep.
I think it's a great partnership for the most part.
I agree.
So, bit of a wrench in the plans. I'm not
Yep.
doing the backstory today.
You are not. Makes
I got
things a
a I
little
got
bit
a
easier for.
a podcast off. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes things a little bit easier for both of us because I'm not doing a full deep dive. Not that full deep dives are hard, but we've already talked about the background of him before. So
Mm-hmm.
I looked back at to when we did the episode, when our podcast started, and then I kind of went from there and kind of omitted things that we may have already talked about in that
Mm-hmm.
general thing. So, just to give a brief background, Nathan John Feuerstein, NF, Nathan Feuerstein, mind blown. You said that in episode 36 or 37 or
I
whatever
know.
episode uh, was born in the great city or town, whatever the fuck it is, Gladwin, Michigan.
It's a
Uh,
town
okay, the town of Gladwin, Michigan on March 30th of 1991.
up near
Dude,
Traverse City.
yeah, absolutely. Yep. He is the oldest of three, has two sisters. His parents are divorced, and he was raised by his mother until his father had to take him away when her boyfriend abused him and one of his sisters. Talk about emotional trauma and physical trauma. His mother
Yeah.
died from an overdose of opiates in 2009. He graduated from Gladwin High School also in 2009, was on the school's basketball team. NF then started his career at the Fine Arts Festival organized by Connection Church in Canton, Michigan. A little bit more background on NF. NF began dating. Her name was Bridget Doremus, whatever. That's about as close as it's going to get, guys. In
Works
2015,
out.
yeah, in 2015, they got married in September of 18. They have one child, a son, who was born in 2021, and just 3 days ago of time of recording, Steve, 3 days
Mm-hmm.
ago, Bridget announced on the Instagram that she was expecting their third or their second child. So that's super cool. Now a little bit onto this album specifically. Hope is NF's fifth studio album, released April 7 of 2023. The album is 13 tracks, just about 50 minutes long, features artists Corday and Julia Michaels. Hope debuted at number 2 on the US Billboard 200, selling
Mm-hmm.
123,000 album equivalent units, of which, Steve, how many do you think were pure album sales?
You said it sold 102,000?
123 equivalent units.
123.
How many were actual albums?
45.
80,500.
Oh, I forgot, man. They do go out and buy his stuff.
Absolutely. Yep. So the album, Steve, you'll appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this not too long ago. This artist not too long ago. This album was blocked from the number one spot, Steve, by do you know who?
Morgan freaking Wallen.
Morgan freaking Wallen and his album One Thing at a Time. Absolutely.
Yeah, because the band that we did on Friday,
Yep.
good old Joe's Bros,
Yeah.
they would have had a number one album if
Absolutely.
not for Morgan Wallen.
It just takes one
Because
thing at a time to get in
he
their way.
is still number one.
Still number
Still,
one.
after canceling his tour, going on hiatus, ripping out his voice box, and going with the Terminator one,
Yeah.
he is still number one. And dude's gonna break. He's that.
It's gonna break some records.
Unless Matt Rife can put out an actual CD of music.
I mean, if the cover art is just him shirtless doing crowd work, then maybe.
Not even do a crowd work, just him shirtless, and that's not. There's nothing inside of it.
And right, for sure.
You bought a copy. You bought a copy of his album.
Right. Yeah.
I could see his face in the back, just going.
Yeah. Or if it's like, what if like the front of it is like him with a shirt on? You open it up and it's him shirtless, and then you close it, and the back is literally him, like his back with the shirt,
with a shirt
back on. Yeah. Anyway, well, yeah.
I could see that.
For
I could
sure.
see that.
Absolutely. This album, Hope, became NF's third top 10 album, and fourth top 10 project overall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Steve, since I'm doing the background, I did our lovely Spotify listener research. How many monthly Spotify listeners do you think NF has?
I'm gonna go 11.5 million.
You are under, but not by a lot.
Okay.
17.3 million follow or listeners.
Didn't know if I wanted to get closer to 20. I wasn't
I know.
sure.
I know. When I looked it up, I was like, I wasn't surprised, but yet it was a higher number than what I thought it was going to be. So,
Yeah, I was thinking I wanted to go around 15, but I thought that might have been high.
right. For sure. I mean, that was kind of my guess when I was like, I wonder how much it's going to be. And then it was something else. So,
Hey,
it is what it is.
good to
So,
him.
absolutely. So, Steve, without any further ado, not making this intro any longer than this album needs to be. Just kidding. We'll get into that. I will anyway. What we'll see. Let's dive into our favorite tracks here. What was your favorite?
I actually went with the title track.
Okay.
I went with Hope.
It's a good
Um,
song.
it's the title track and the first song on the album. It gives you a glimpse of what you're gonna get. Um, it's pulled back at times. It's huge, big at times.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, it features the tried and true flow that we're used to with NF, but also gives us a pulled back, slower melodies that are kind of built around that cinematic sound that we're gonna get from Tommy.
Yes.
It's exactly what I wanted to hear from NF, and I felt like it set the tone for the album very, very well.
Mhm.
It's a little bit manic though. Like
I can see that.
he's going through some, I mean, if you guys are fans of NF, what I'm about to say is nothing that you should be surprised by. But if you're not a fan of NF or don't know a whole lot about him,
Mhm.
dude seems to go through a whole lot of shit, and unpacking his childhood trauma can probably be 15 albums for this dude.
Right.
Because it seems like he unpacks in every single freaking one of them.
Mhm.
But there's other things going on as well, I'm sure, with having kids of his own and relationships and things. There's
Mhm.
probably things that are happening to him, but that first track just is like it kind of gave you the wow moment. Wow.
Sure.
And I will give Tommy some credit that he didn't really overshadow it too much on
Mhm.
that one.
Yep.
So what about you? What was your favorite?
I picked the track Gone. Musically, this track is really interesting to me. Halfway through it, like it starts off just kind of normal, whatever normal means.
Mm-hmm.
Halfway through it, it then gets really intense, like this really intense musical sequence of like
Mm-hmm.
loud noises, and then all of a sudden it gets super quiet, and then it gets loud again really quick. Like when it first happened, I was like, wait, what happened? And then it stopped, but then it went loud again, and then it went back to quiet again, and I was just like, it grabbed my attention, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I was also a fan of the duet that was going on with NF and Julia Michaels, one of the features on this one. I think that
Mm-hmm.
their voices really meshed well together and really brought this track to life, because it kind of did have this back and forth of, you know, the track, the male side of it and the female side of the track. So I
Mm-hmm.
went with Gone as my favorite track.
All right. I like
So
it. I like it. There's more on that one later.
of course. Oh man.
Every single time you pick one, I'm just like, well,
You're
of course
just
you
like,
picked that
of
one.
course I picked that one. Right. So speaking of picking that one, Steve, it is time for our first game of the night.
Yeah, it
It is
is.
time for the, I'm gonna say it because I was on my brain, the Nathan Foyer wing.
Let's go.
Let's play Wayne. Let's play Wayne. Word association and game.
Honestly, dude, though, it is very close to his last name, so I mean, we'll have to
Yeah,
go with it.
right.
He won't get mad at you for it or make a song about you and talk about some douchebag in Michigan.
This guy from Michigan is gonna, I'm gonna kick his butt because I
I
don't say
mean,
ass.
well, I'm sure he does say ass. It just
Just not
is
recorded.
just not, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, buddy. So I've got 3 for you today.
Three wangs, huh?
3. Well, it's hard to do the wangs when the tracks are only one word.
You're not wrong.
It's hard. So
It's hard to do the wangs, guys.
it's hard to do wangs, absolutely. So I've got 3 for you, Steve.
All right.
I'm gonna go from what I think is the easiest to the hardest. Okay.
All right.
Here we go. I mean, start flaccid and you get hard. Here we go. First track. Forrest Gump.
Mama?
No. Surprisingly.
Running?
Running. Absolutely. It was running.
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 I was like,
I just kept running and running.
Mama worked out for that one too.
That
pretty
one
well.
worked out great. Yeah, it did. It caught me off guard because I was like, yeah, that definitely, for sure.
I wasn't even joking. I thought that was
I know you
the...
weren't. I know you weren't, for sure. All right, next one. March of 2020.
Suffice.
No.
Mistake?
Wow. No. If it would have been mistake, I would have said January 6th. But
of 2021.
right.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I got one more.
All right.
Bullet?
No.
Is it Pandemonium?
It is Pandemonium. That bullet took a weird turn.
I mean,
I'm sure the people around JFK said, said the same thing, but whatever.
There's 2 shooters, damn it.
There's right, for sure. All right, Steve, here's your last one. Your hardest wang that I think this is the hardest. Here we go. It might crack.
It might crack.
It might crack.
Motto?
Nope.
It might crack. Turn my back?
Yes. Turn my back. It might crack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So
there was no joke I could make with that one. I was trying so hard.
For sure. Yeah. It's hard to make jokes when the tracks are when that right there, Turn My Back, was the longest track title. Right.
You're not wrong.
For sure. All right, Steve. So I'm gonna assume that my favorite track is in this next category. Am I correct?
It is. It is.
Tell me why you don't like Gone.
I don't like Gone.
Okay.
It's odd. I don't hate the flow of the track, but it isn't what I would expect from NF. It really seems like he kind of threw that change up in a little bit, the baseball reference here, and went slower. Julia Michaels, though, is a great change of pace. I don't particularly like when NF just sings.
Okay.
Or just does the melodic thing and doesn't really go hard. His fastball is what he's good at. And you don't want to be kind of that one note guy, but you also don't want to get away from your bread and butter too far.
Yeah. And
I felt like Gone really did that, but I also got to give Tommy Prophet some shit on this one too.
Okay.
I did not like, and I've listened to this album 3 or 4 times now at least.
Sure. Yeah.
But every single time I did not like it when he did that weird cinematic jump cut.
Okay.
And was like, and then all of a sudden it was like blowing your eardrums out, and then jump cut.
Yep.
And then like when you go from like everything to nothing. And then like he did it like 3 or 4 times. And the first one was a longer pause where I thought the track was over. I was like, well, that was a weird way to end it. What the shit was that?
Yeah.
And I wanted to kick that guy in the nuts. I just didn't like it, and I felt like it took something away from Julia's feature. Because I was so like discombobulated by like what the shit is going on with the music here.
Yeah.
And then now we got this lady singing who's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But I was distracted by like, what did I hear 15 seconds ago? Like, what is going on with the music here? Like this track for me was like a lot more miss than it was hit. The only hit for me personally was Julia Michaels.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. I mean,
I didn't even nitpick. I was just like,
you make valid points. So, all right. My least favorite.
But I see your side of it too as well. So what was your least
for
favorite?
sure. My least favorite was motto. What's a motto with
Okay.
you? I've literally the whole time that was going to be one of my clues was it was going to be motto, and I was going to be what's a motto with you, but I couldn't do it anyway. I said it, whatever. Of all the tracks on this album, I think this track is the most surface level.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's not a whole lot of deep lyrics to it. And it does remind me a lot of like a clean Eminem when it comes to the musical style, not like
Mm-hmm.
a clean Candy, but you all know what I mean. I
Marshall
also,
Mathers.
yeah, absolutely. Yep. I also thought that the topic of was pretty simple, and although the track is pretty upbeat, I just ended up skipping it the times that I ended up listening to it. I ended up listening to this album like you, Steve, 3 or 4 times, and by the third, fourth time, I was like, I'm over this, and I couldn't get behind it. So, Motto was my least favorite track on this one.
I like it. Yeah, and it's I mean, there is some filler tracks on this album. There are a couple of them,
Yeah,
but it is kind of what you're gonna get. But it's now time for our second game,
it is.
and it is time for Shatner's Poetry Slam. I really got nothing. The Hope Shat. Took one of those earlier.
I hope to chat. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Shatner's Poetry.
All right, Brandon. I just picked two.
Okay.
And we'll see. There's no words that I can't say because he does leave those out.
Right.
So there's words I may not want to say,
Right.
but there's words that all these words I can actually say and without feeling bad.
Right.
Purposefully, I think. All right. So let's go here. Let's see how I do on this one. All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
First one. Stunting on me, you get exposed. I don't want to pick, then I buy both. Doesn't go plat, it'll go gold. Keep it up front. I don't tiptoe. I be at the house trying to lay low. Ducking and dodging the promo. Sitting on my roof like J. Cole.
Bullet.
Yeah. Nope. Sit on my roof like J. Cole. Thinking about how I'm so thankful. Subpar songs, I don't make those. Look at that car I paid for. Look at my life, I'm grateful. Hating on me.
Let them
That's
pray.
hateful. Nope. You know I hit what I aim for. Talk about risks, I take those. Didn't get here. Being song title.
Happy.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
One more.
being careful.
There it is.
Yep.
Give him credit. He does kind of mix it in there. He does have a Nigeria reference in here that I almost caught myself on. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
wait a second there, buddy.
Yeah. Hold on.
You almost got me.
Right.
Not again. Okay. Oh, not that. Wrong button. There's the button I wanted. Pull it up. There we go. Alrighty. Second one. I feel like I'm at a standstill, waiting for you to tell me I'm okay. If time heals, tell me why do I kill myself? Try to show you I'm not a mistake. I've got qualities that I'm not proud of.
It's a mistake.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I knew it from the first line because yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. Nice job. Mistake is my deep cut.
I almost went with motto, so you got lucky.
Edge your deep cut?
No, as a Shatner's thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, so the moment that you said it was I'm like, I know this track. It
Mhm.
also helps that I listened to it like twice today. So yeah, so we'll just go right into it, man. Mistake. I think that a lot of people who suffer from mental illness and struggle with their image will really appreciate this track a lot. and can relate to it on a deep level. I think there's a lot of tracks that NF does that people can relate to on a deep level. What I like about this track more than anything, musically, is the fact that it is pulled back, and it allows for NF's lyrics to really come through clear. He takes this track, and although he is I think a pretty quick rapper, he isn't going fast on this track, and he really dials it back to make what he's saying clear and concise. That makes the song super impactful, and really can hit on those deep emotions. So for me, that is why I picked Mistake as my deep cut.
I like it. So my deep cut is a song that I felt like he brought back the old NF a little bit.
Okay.
Somebody who the track that really style of it made people really compare him to M, but also prove that he can do his own thing. And it's Pandemonium.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he really shows I still got everything I had. I'm evolving, I'm adapting, I'm doing my own thing, trying to do different things, but I still got what you all liked before. Don't worry, ain't gone nowhere. Most of the tracks on here really do showcase what NF and Tommy Prophet were able to do and what Tommy Prophet able to build a beat to match what NF can do. I feel like sometimes when you get producers and artists, the producer will build a beat that the artist has no chance of matching. Or the other way around, the artist will throw out some massive bars and the beat is just like wah wah wah.
Right.
And these two really do work like, they're just like a pair of gloves. They're exactly the same. They know they're on the same page 99% of the time. This track proves he can still rhyme. He's just as fast, clear, and concise as he has on past albums. And I love the angry NF. I mean, my favorite line from this album is it's in the first stanza. It's this: try me if you wanna, guarantee you're gonna wish you had did it. That's a war you could never win. But hey, I like the optimism.
Yeah.
Because in the current battle that I'm facing in my own life, starting a business, being me, just in the grand scheme of things, being me, I tend to bring the trolls on quite frequently. And then also being more public with like working in the public eye with different people and events and things like that. I'm putting myself out there. But I have no fucks left to give. And I am the fuck around to find out kind of person here.
Sure.
You really can't, you can't come at me. You can't heckle me. You can't bring me any lower than I've brought myself. I like that you're going to try, but I'm going to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Right.
It's just who I am. And I heard that and I was just like, yeah, you're cute. It's a good try, buddy. But let's see what your button is. I'm going to push the shit out of it right now. Because you don't fuck with some crazy.
Right.
And that's a lot of what this guy does, a lot of NF does, and I'll get in my final thoughts on him.
Yeah, go for it, bud.
Is do not poke this man's crazy. Do not think that you can meet him trauma for trauma. Brandon went into just a glimpse of what he went through at a young age, and then as his life got progressively further on, what it kept spitballing and snowballing into. He's got trauma for days. Don't think you're going to come at him and say, I can out trauma you. Because, I mean, maybe you can, but he's going to prove a point, and it is kind of what it is. And this album is kind of showcasing that again, where he's not hiding behind a curtain. He's telling you, I've still got all of these things on my sleeve. They're all here for you all to see.
Yeah.
I did like this album more than his other albums. I think it's right there with the last one we did. What was that one called again?
The Search.
The Search. Yeah. I did feel like this album though was far more concise and controlled than other albums that he's put out.
Mhm.
13 tracks coming in at just a shade over 40 minutes long. Like for an NF album, that's great. For a Tommy Prophet album, though, holy crap. Like Tommy probably put out 18 more tracks because he'd feel better because he didn't put an album out that was 3.5 hours long.
Well, it's probably going to be just Tommy's going to come out with like a cinematic NF, like all instrumental.
Hope Part 18.
Right.
Just Tommy.
It's going to be Hope less.
Yeah. Hope more.
Yeah, Hope more.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And then More Hope, the second version.
Right.
No, I do love that there's
and then Hope Tokyo Drift.
Exactly. Yes. Hope family.
Yeah.
I love the fact that there's not a track that's really over like that 5-minute mark.
Yeah.
I think one might touch it. But these guys have known to be doing like 8-9 minute tracks before, and you're like, all right, dude, I'm getting bored. Like my attention span is not where it used to be. I'm sorry, but you gotta get this train moving along
wrap
here.
it up. Yep.
Exactly. But the album does speak to the maturity of both the artist and the producer. They're both artists on this album.
Yep.
The production level and the sheer talent of NF, I can't get behind it. I love that I can listen to this album. As you mentioned before, he doesn't swear. His lyrics still pack a punch, but they don't have that flirting the line with I'm going to teach my 9-year-old to say fuck.
Right.
He already knows how, guarantee you. I've heard it multiple times this week. But I don't have somebody on the radio telling him more and more fucks.
Right.
He's got enough fucks for all the rest of us. Don't worry, guys. He saves them. And then tells me all about them.
Yeah.
Various ways. So I do like that I can listen to a harder hip hop album while still trying to keep my little ears safe for a minute or two.
Yeah.
You know, from the radio, not from me because I try my best, but I fail every freaking day at that. But
sure.
So I do like that he does that. I do want to hear him go off though.
Oh,
I want to hear uncensored.
What?
I want to hear uncensored NF. I want to see him in a spot of life, and I don't ever think he'll do it.
No,
because he doesn't have to. It's like the Will Smith thing, but he's better.
Right.
I don't think he will ever get there because he can you can portray your anger in many different ways without swearing. It's the easy way out. I know that. I'm well aware of it. I can do it as well. I can speak eloquently with as much fever and fervor and get as much anger out as possible without swearing. However, I'm also lazy. He's not lazy. So for me, I gave the album an 8 out of 10. I liked it. Is it the best thing ever? No. Is it the best NF album ever? No, but it's pretty close. I felt this search was better, but I do like how this one was shorter.
Sure.
What about you, man?
I don't know what it is about this dude, but I like his music and his albums overall. They're very real. They're very raw. You can tell that he is doing what he's doing with his music, and he's letting nobody else control the kind of music that he's putting out. But I don't know. For some reason, I just felt like it's not, especially compared to like The Search, which was like a day and a half long. I for some reason I just felt like this one was longer than what it was. I don't know why. I don't know, but it is what it is. I do think that, like you said, this album is more concise for me in both the topics that he's trying to talk about as well as the style of music that's being produced for this one. It's not all over the place, really. Tommy kind of reins in his talents on this one and kind of focuses it in, and I think NF does the exact same thing. I think really this album just solidifies more and more for me how much of a fan I am of this dude. For me, I'm actually going to give this one a 9 out of 10.
That's awesome. And I wonder if you're your brain and like thinking it's longer than what it is because you're so used to Tommy going long.
I'm used to Tommy going long. I'm used to the search going long. And then I'm looking at the track, like the length of the tracks on these ones.
Mhm.
I mean, you're pushing anywhere between 4 and 5 for a lot of these. So maybe that's just in my brain. I don't know.
And I can feel that. I actually, the first time I listened to this, it was in the car, and I drove home, and it's about a 45 minute to an hour drive or so, maybe a little bit more depending on the day. And
Yep.
I remember listening to it and then like hearing the head track again. I mean, like, wait a sec. Did I get all the way through this one already? And I was like, I was like 3/4 way home.
Right.
And I was like, that's not, because I expected to listen to it and then like pick it up the next morning on my way to work with the rest of it. Because I didn't see how long it was. I didn't really pay attention. I just started it.
For sure.
And yeah, it was, I mean, I was just like, whoa, hold up.
Right.
And I listened to it again, and I was just like, again, the second time I listened to it, I was like, it's already over?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess, like, great. And then
Great.
like, but I appreciate, I think that's some maturity though between the both of them. That's where it's coming from. Is like
For sure.
they understand the music industry is getting away from those super duper long albums, except for Morgan Wallen.
Wow.
Not everybody can be Morgan Wallen, unfortunately. And
everybody
nobody
can be
wants to be Morgan Wallen.
Not right now.
No, not right now. Everyone's Matt Rife right now, but it's okay.
Well, yeah, at least people in Michigan. So
People everywhere.
that's true.
He's the greatest thing since, you know, sliced beefcake.
TikTok.
Exactly. But that being said, TikTok. Brandon, so together we gave this one a 17 out of 20. Very good score. Very good score. It's a very new album.
Yep.
Just recently came out, guys. If you haven't checked it out yet and you're a fan of hip hop music, give it a listen. If you're a fan of like newer stuff and maybe you're not a fan of hip hop because you don't like the language they use, check it out. He's a local boy from Michigan. So if you are in Michigan and you haven't listened to this guy yet, give him a shot. I think you'll be impressed. He is a clean artist. He's not necessarily a Christian artist, but he's a clean artist.
He is a clean artist.
So I will go that route here. Now, as Brandon said, TikTok. We are on TikTok. We are on TikTok. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We're just not posting on there right now because we don't trust Elon to stay away.
Right. Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. He hasn't earned that trust.
He owns the bird, and we really just want to flip him the bird.
100%.
Yeah.
On a daily basis.
Yeah.
And he looks like a bird too.
I mean, very Caucasian. He's more white than me.
He is more white than you. He's like a plucked chicken. So it is if that's there's a visual for you guys in your head there.
Oh my gosh.
So but we also are on YouTube. We're starting that. We've been kind of kicking that can down the road here for the last few months, posting a video nearly every day. I'm kind of running out on some stuff. We got to get some more stuff in, but I also have to have time to edit, and that is not happening right now.
Right.
Yeah, ask me about that in a couple weeks. We'll see. After vacation, maybe I'll get some more stuff out for a backstory stuff out, but we'll figure it out here.
Absolutely.
But speaking of, if you are watching us on YouTube, hey, you made it to the end. You saw what's coming up on Wednesday and on Friday. For those listening to the podcast in the audio format, you have to go to YouTube. I'm not posting it. I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm not going to drop the egg and let you know what's coming. I am going to tell you it's epic. It's going to be amazing. It is full of artists in a draft that you will all know, you will all love, and I'm going to tell you the artist on Friday is a hip-hop legend. I can't believe we haven't done yet. We've talked about him a couple of times.
We have
but we
talked
haven't done
about
any of his album. And it's coming, and you're going to be really upset that you didn't watch this on YouTube and figure it out. Hell, I'm pretty sure if you watch it on YouTube for like 30 seconds and then you scroll through to find the previews, you will know, and I will get a watch.
Yes.
That's how this works. As long as you subscribe and then never come back to YouTube ever again, I don't care. Pump my numbers.
Yep.
Make me feel better.
For sure.
I feel better with numbers, and right now I feel very 12-ish.
Yeah.
I want to feel more 50-ish.
There you go. I like it.
I just turned 39. Give me a birthday. Give me a birthday subscribe. I like it.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
It's,
Actually.
it's like a birthday spanking, but like a birthday subscribe.
I'll take
Okay.
one of those two, depending on who it is.
Okay.
Ah. I'll see you next week, buddy.